a real medical concern, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't make fun of me for it.
Ian's talking about dumb bitch disorder.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to.
Is that like a? Did we make a final decision?
Make the title happen, Ian.
It's I don't care.
The podcast
nobody listens to.
That's right. This is the podcast that nobody listens to. So we're gonna talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to it because we're just a couple, maybe three, just kids who are going through college and working and not really doing anything in North Texas, and nobody knows our name.
Sitting in Tanner's car right now.
Yeah, nobody knows who we are. We have no claim to fame. That is exactly why we're going to start a podcast.
Literally nobody knows who we are. In fact, if you think you know who we are,
you're probably wrong.
You're probably wrong. You probably don't know who we are.
You're probably listening to this like, oh, I think I've heard of these guys. You haven't.
You haven't, because we haven't done anything.
No, nothing worth.
All three of us have been. There's not three of us right now, but there will be. We have literally.
One of us has dumb bitch disorder.
We've been.
Well, two of us do.
We've been released into the world after
high school.
Well, yeah, high school happened, but we were locked in a room. Just like eating grits for 12 years.
So we are not good at improv either. So that was Ian trying to do a bit, and that was me not receiving it, knowing that he was trying to do a bit, and just saying no because I'm bad at improv.
I appreciate you letting me finish it, though.
Yeah, why would I interrupt you when you're putting yourself on the spotlight and embarrassing yourself?
I
would let you.
Funny.
All right, so moving on.
This is already so mean-spirited. I'm really. We gotta tone it down.
Sorry. I'm gonna be less of a dick, or at least try to. Which is something I'm not good at.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, it's not that easy for me to not be. But he means well. He means well. My name is Tanner. I mean well.
That's his last name. I mean well.
Tanner. I mean well. Ian, tell me.
Yes.
Did you have any wild New Year's experiences?
I sure did.
Care to share?
Well, considering this is the podcast that nobody listens to, yeah, I mean, sure.
Share everything. Nobody's gonna hear this.
Yeah, nobody, absolutely no one. Yeah, I went to. So my original plan for New Year's was that I was gonna go to my friend Devin's party.
Sick.
Yeah.
Parties.
But he is a bit of a dumbass, and so he thought that two of my and his close friends were coming when, in fact, he forgot to invite one, and one of them told him explicitly, I am not coming to this party. So it comes around the time when we're supposed to, get down and boogie. Yeah.
We went two different directions.
It was on two different roads. Yeah, it came to the point where I was just surrounded by his friends that I didn't know. And I was like, I really don't want to spend my New Year's getting drunk with these strangers. So I instead went to a different party it was just a room full of people I did know. And you were there.
I got there late.
Yeah, you were there, though.
Yeah.
You had a date.
Yeah, I was, well, finish your story first.
Okay, yeah.
We'll get to mine.
Yeah. So, yes, that was the thing that happened. And then Mitch, our third musketeer and or stooge, a little bit of both.
The most stoogey out of all of us.
Absolutely. He was there as well, but he wasn't drinking. And apparently drunk me was like a really good, not really a wingman, because that didn't really work out, but he was kind of being shy, so I was like, hey, let's dance.
You kind of put him out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It worked out pretty well, and then we went back to his house, and I sweated all of the alcohol in my system out
Into
his hot tub.
tub.
Yeah. We were watching Bert Kreischer stand up.
Yeah. That was a good time. I
Yeah.
had never listened to that guy.
He is phenomenal. He's really good.
Yeah, so you had a good New Year's.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. It's probably one of my better ones, because usually I just spend it at a family friend's house, and there's no alcohol.
How do you live?
Every time I drink anything that's not alcohol, I just think of that one line from Heathers where the guy spits out the sparkling cider, and he's like, "There's no alcohol in here. Are you trying to poison me?"
Gotta be honest, I've never seen Heathers.
That's okay. It's really good. Yeah. I think you would probably enjoy it, but you're not really a musical man.
I saw a musical today.
What musical did you see?
A Bronx Tale, but
that's right.
The one that
You were
Robert De
telling me about
Niro
that.
directed.
I forgot that was a musical.
Yeah, it was pretty. It wasn't the best. Maybe it was better on Broadway, but I don't know. It was just the designer. His name was Beowulf. Beowulf Boyd.
No way. Oh
yeah,
my
not
God.
kidding.
I wish I could be named Beowulf.
God. Well, hopefully you don't.
No, yeah, because
Not this guy. You don't want to be this guy.
That's fair.
He was the set designer.
And there's got to be like some expectation you have to live up with that kind of name too.
Yeah, but he turned out to be a set designer, which was like, you're not a warrior, but hey, you're designing sets. That's great. But he has like a few Tony nominations, and I think he won a Tony. Wow. But his set design was so bad for this show. It was like it was like 4 rolling towers of what do you call it? The outside stairwells on Bronx apartments. That are metal.
Fire escapes.
Fire escapes. Yeah. And there would be a window at the top. But the way it was built, it looked like a guard tower at a freaking prison.
Oh, God.
I was like, that's clashing with the rest of the set. And then they had this backdrop that they put in front of it that would, like, create this image of a Bronx street corner.
Yeah.
And then you'd also have the windows that looked like... It just didn't look
really
good.
Conflicting.
And a red floor.
Okay.
And they had full bright lights on for the first number.
He sounds like the kind of guy who's trying to be super abstract, and he just doesn't even know what meaning he's trying to get across.
Yeah, I feel like maybe De Niro was like, this is my first stage play. I'm going to trust this guy with everything. Beowulf was like, what do you think about a red floor? And Robert De Niro was like, let's throw that at the wall and see if it sticks. Robert De Niro sees like a little bit of red on the floor. He's like, okay, maybe not. And then Beowulf is like, you want more? Robert De Niro's like, whatever.
What nationality
Forget
is
about
Beowulf exactly?
Beowulf Borit. I feel like he's Russian. I didn't look into it.
Oh.
But Beowulf...
Yeah. It's also worth noting, it is 9:51 right now.
Yeah.
We have a movie to catch.
We're gonna see Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
When we return, we will have a Mitch with us.
Yeah, Mitch is the third dumb bitch in this...
yes.
In this clan clashing around.
Remember that one's the thing?
Remember Clash of Clans? I never played it, but I heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're also currently in a car waiting outside of a movie theater. When we come back, we're going to talk about New Year's experiences.
We will be changed people.
Yeah, we will be... Well, Ian's going to be a changed person.
Yeah, you've already seen this movie, but maybe
Mitch and I saw this movie without Ian.
Yeah, And
we're going to tell you why when we come back.
It's
a dumb story.
It was understandable.
It's slightly understandable. I was a little like, why didn't you just like...
Ask anyway.
But, okay, when we come back, you'll hear the story all about that.
You won't have to wait. Yeah. We're going to have to wait like 2 hours to tell this story, so hopefully we'll remember.
Yeah.
We'll show this to Mitch, and we'll play it back for him, and then we'll remember.
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 hours? Yeah, it's a 2 hour movie. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye. See you in a bit.
Was it that big ass thing that blocked it?
Needless to say,
Nope.
On the video of you hear just like the car doors opening.
If you don't know what's going on by the time you hear I'm taking a bath, then you're pretty stupid.
Are we rolling it?
Hey, welcome to I Don't Care, the podcast that nobody listens to.
Yep.
This is our first time recording it.
It's not the first time.
This is the complete first
time, first roll, first take, no edits.
This is our intro. I am
One
Tanner.
I am Ian.
Well, hold on. Let me say that again.
Oh,
I am
God.
Tanner because he was talking over me. I'm Tanner.
I am Ian.
The fuck is your name?
Say your name.
Hey, I'm Mitch.
He's
That's Mitch.
Mitch.
Yeah, I am.
Mitch.
Um,
We
I
call
just-
him Weak Legs.
we
'cause
just-
he has...
Weak legs because I'm the most popular of the three.
We just got back. You're still talking like Norse Spider-Man.
Shut up.
we just got out of Into the Spiderverse. We got out of the Spiderverse.
Otherwise known as the best Spider-Man movie so far.
I absolutely agree with that 100%.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It was super good.
Zero complaints. The humor is on point every time. The dramatic structure is perfect.
Just don't. Well, let's not spoil anything. I was
The
just
humor
trying to.
it doesn't hit.
Here's
It's not on point. The dramatic structure sucks.
Nothing works.
here's the thing. I was
Everything's
just
broken.
I was just trying to prove to them that there was a part where the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs machine was in the movie.
Okay.
It was not.
It was in the movie.
Well,
I
okay, you want to
promise
talk about not spoiling it and then give a big
It's
ol'
not
spoiler.
a spoiler. It was an Easter egg.
There's a lightsaber in Star
now,
Wars.
listen.
Damn it!
Dude, if
I
you,
was gonna watch that this weekend.
if you go and watch Into the Spider-Verse, keep an eye out for the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs machine.
Or
Look
just
it up.
watch the movie like a regular person.
Or just watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs if
Listen,
you want to see that machine.
I was watching like a normal person and I saw it anyway.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't enjoy it.
So that's our
I
review.
did enjoy it.
That's,
No,
our,
you
that's our review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Noir Spider-Man is the best
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage is having a career revival.
But
God,
yes,
yes.
he is. But let's not.
We don't pick the ballroom, we just dance.
He found his role. He was gonna play
Absolutely.
Superman. We didn't need that.
He was
This is
gonna
what
play
we.
Superman?
Yeah, he was gonna play Superman.
Oh, that would've
instead
been
of
awful.
Christopher
That would've been
Reeve
so
or
On
terrible.
the
something. I
spectrum
don't
of
know.
cameos, there's like Matt Damon, where it's just like, oh, I want to be in like everything I can possibly be, like downsizing.
And that's not a cameo, but it did get stale.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage,
Nicolas
he has
Cage-
found his
His niche.
niche, his Nicolas Cage.
He's hitting
Oh,
his
God.
targets.
Oh God! Who made that joke? Just
What?
that guy.
Who was it? Mitch, Tanner,
Oh.
Ian? Who? You'll never know because we all sound the same.
It was me.
Okay, Nicolas Cage. He has like 15 lines in the whole movie, but they're all gold. They
You know,
hit
what
every
we
time.
still didn't do? We didn't like say what we're doing here. We don't really have a theme for this, by the way. We're just kind of like rambling.
Yeah, we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
What
Maybe
the name of this podcast?
I
Ian?
don't-
I don't care. The
Exactly.
podcast nobody listens to.
the only way.
Exactly.
Okay,
We
here's
should
the
not care what the theme is.
right. The only way somebody would listen to this is if they ask, "Hey, what do we want to listen to?" and somebody says, "I don't care," and they type in "I don't care" as a joke,
that
and
was
then they
my
end
idea.
up here.
That was my idea.
Oh, so we do care.
So
No.
Ian gets credit for that idea. Okay, we're past that, but that's the only way somebody's gonna listen to that.
Everybody has to pay me 5 cents every time they say it.
You have
Well,
royalties?
Huh?
You have a royalty?
You're damn
We
right.
don't care enough to get royalties.
I'm copywriting it right now.
Wait,
Trademarking it.
So you're saying that
Do
you
you hear me
care.
tapping on my phone?
He's not actually tapping on his phone.
Yes,
Well,
I
he's-
am.
ASMR.
You like that?
You like that?
See, you get a bit of everything in this podcast,
You
but
get
not much of
asked-
it because we don't care. Mitch, tell me what you thought of Aquaman.
Don't. Don't do it. Oh God.
No,
You,
it was-
you gotta say. You gotta. You
Yeah, I
gotta
know.
do-
I know. I
gotta
will say.
warm
We'll
it up.
only know.
say it.
We'll
I
only
will
know
warn-
if you do it.
I
Okay.
will warn you.
Okay. What were your thoughts of Aquaman?
Aquaman
Yeah.
was everyone's shitting on Aquaman for no reason, just because they're appropriating it with every other DC film that's out there.
What do you mean
That's not the
appropriating it?
truth. That's
That means they're like, oh, I gotta base this off of what happened in the other films. Yeah, it's connected, but they should go into it thinking, oh, this is just another solo film that happens to have a connection.
As somebody who hasn't seen a DC film in the last like 5 years, I disagree. I still didn't like it.
Okay,
I thought of it as a solo film going into it, and that did not give
It
it.
didn't feel
And I
connected
I
at
saw
all.
the other films hoping that they would be good. Even Suicide Squad, I was like, maybe.
that's not
The trailer was good, but then the whole movie was edited by a trailer company. That aside, Aquaman, as a standalone film, I almost fell asleep.
Damn.
That's the
You
villains
also-
did not mean
You
anything.
also got a boner when you saw
okay. I'm
the
not saying
female lead,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I forgot the name of, which is a
Mira?
very. It's a great testament to her character.
Her-
which,
why that she's
Mira-
interactive.
No,
Yeah,
that there
yeah.
isn't a character.
I'm not saying she has zero depth, but every time she came on the screen, I thought about sex. And I forgot where I was like, oh God, I'm saying this with my dad. I'm sorry.
It's the DC universe. Every woman is like sexualized in a most ridiculous way.
That's a real problem, though.
That is,
yeah.
Especially Wonder Woman.
That doesn't
like,
take away from the fact that Ian's real problem is kind of ridiculous
What?
with her
What?
character. It's
What?
like, why does she have this power when no one else in the ocean
Yeah.
does? Because who the fuck cares what power she has?
No,
power are you talking about?
Listen. Okay, so
How come Aquaman's the only one that can speak to fish?
That's a good point.
they don't explain that either.
They don't need to!
That's my problem. Okay, listen. The thing is, there was a lack of explanation. She felt like a bit of a Mary Sue, and I know I say that about like every female character, but that's because it's most of the time true.
Yeah.
She had these powers to control water. That's not a spoiler. It's just her character.
Ian, wait, for those of us who don't care, define Mary Sue.
Mary Sue is a female character, a badass female character whose only purpose is to be badass, but they're not given a reason that they are badass. She is good at combat, but that can be excused by the fact that, oh, she's a princess, so she's probably had training and that kind of stuff. But the water control, it's never explained, and nobody else can do it.
There doesn't need to have an explanation.
Yes, there does.
Do you would you rather have
And
them
you
like
said,
a 10-minute...
no, it's because she's royalty, but none of the other royalty can
say
do
that?
it. Yes.
When did I say that?
I don't remember when we were talking about it
I
before.
do not remember saying that.
Mitch is evading the debate by saying he didn't say a point that
And
he said.
yes, and you made the point about Aquaman. They addressed the fact that he could talk to fish, but it was literally, how can you do that? I don't know. And then they never addressed it again.
They explained it.
I think
You got what you wanted.
Whoa,
They
whoa,
didn't.
hold
They didn't
on.
explain it. They
They
just
did
addressed
explain
it.
it. He doesn't know how he does it. You know how you walk? You don't know how you walk. You just do it naturally.
Okay, here's the thing. They explain Superman. He gets his powers because he comes to a different
he's an
planet.
alien, yeah.
Yeah. Where on his planet he would just be considered a normal person. And they explain what they kind of explain some other people. But the point is, I think Aquaman lacks backstory in the first place. Like his comic books don't give him much to work with. So that's why there's never
And that's
a movie.
not the movie director's fault.
Yeah.
They weren't given much to work with.
Or the screenplay writer.
They're
I think
just-
they just don't
yeah.
have much to work with. Yeah.
I am not calling you out, either you out, but I think you guys are looking for too much.
What do
You guys are looking for a lot of depth, a lot more than that should be expected from a movie that's just trying
not
to be.
about depth.
Yeah, it's your turn to talk. I have the conch.
Here's hold this. It's a water
Mitch
bottle.
now has the speaking water bottle.
He has the clean canteen.
You guys were expecting this to be like a prequel in a D&D session, and it shouldn't be.
Explain what you mean by that for
Yeah,
those of us.
I
Well,
didn't-
nobody's listening to this, but explain what you mean.
For the no one that's listening, you play a D&D session as a prequel to establish your reason for wanting to play this character.
So it's a prequel for one character.
Yes.
And so it's one person one-on-one
I
with
really
the DM.
think a movie, a standalone movie, should not be to set up a sequel. Ever.
Did you feel like Aquaman was to set up a
It
sequel?
felt like it was to set up Justice League.
Some more Justice League.
Was there already a Justice League movie?
Yeah. It was made and he was in it.
I do not
Really?
feel like that.
And they're making standalone Cyborg, Flash, Green Lantern soon.
They already did Green Lantern.
Yeah, but a
They're
different
doing
one.
it again. Because remember, if you saw Justice League, that little like snippet is like, oh, the gods and like the Green Lantern Corps fucking destroyed whatever
They
the
went at a
villain's
war
name is.
with
Whatever insert villain.
Steppenwolf, who had zero depth.
Okay,
But
that
that's a
I can
whole other-
accept. But reasons for overlooking things just because it's not how you would want it is ridiculous.
That's not.
Here's the thing.
Well, people ask us our opinion, and is that not what an opinion is?
What?
I'm gonna take the talking clean canteen right now. Aquaman, I think there were some deep things that it was going for, but it had no basis to lay that on.
Yes, I have this now.
He has the
and
water bottle.
I would be okay with it not having explanation, and I would be okay because comic books are supposed to be goofy, and they don't need explanation. But it felt like if they had tried to play that up more, where it was like, oh, this is goofy, we don't care. No, they made it as gritty realistic as the rest of them, and it just didn't match. It felt like there were characters who were absurd in a real world, and that doesn't quite fit. And comics aren't like that.
Also,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To me, it does not, because I did not see it as a gritty, like, real film. I saw it as kind of like an adventure movie, which it basically was for me, because it was like after the first like 15 minutes of the story, where you get like the relationship between his father and his mother, and it jumps straight into what he's doing. It's just, it never has a break unless it's for character building.
Yeah.
Most movies, there's that one scene where like, oh, the adventure stops. It's like, oh, we hate the two like main protagonists hate each other and they have to just like make up somehow. There wasn't that scene, and I was so fucking proud of them for not doing that scene, because it's in every fucking adventure film where it's like, oh, why did you do this? Oh, for selfish reasons. Oh, but it's not really selfish. It's what I thought was right. Because my comic book said I should. But no, it's just, it made relative sense to me in a world where they're trying to find Poseidon's trident.
I think what it was to okay. Yeah. We're still passing. We're committing to this water bottle thing. I think what you said something just a second ago about like comics, like just because the comic said it, right? And I think that's exactly my problem. It felt like those powers were given to those characters just because the comic books told the directors to give it to them. And the directors didn't know how to explain it. And again, they don't really need to, but it was the fact that they explained all the other stuff with like traveling through water. They were like, oh yeah, because all Atlantans can do that. Like being able to fight with tridents and move normally underwater. They were like, oh yeah, because he's from Atlantis. They provided explanations for about half of his abilities.
Okay, I do understand now.
You don't. A lot of things you don't need to explain, like how for example, Peter Porker. He's just a cartoon. He's gonna do cartoony things, and the fact that he was like kicking ass for half a second, and instead of like using a hammer or an anvil, he was actually like punching and blocking for a second. The fact that he knows combat but would never have to use it in his cartoon universe, but then uses it in this universe because he has to, is because he's a cartoon, and you don't need to explain it. He's just a cartoon.
Yeah.
And with Aquaman, he's just Aquaman. He can talk to
Into
fish.
the Spiderverse is also a very absurd movie.
Yes, but it's like it starts with reality, something very close to reality, and so does Aquaman for as much as you can. It's
in a world where like the Norse gods and like actually, or Greek gods like actually existed and stuff, and like the Green Lantern Corps like came to Earth. Yeah, that's real. But it's not on Earth when a fucking kaiju monster comes during a fucking World War III of the water world.
Yeah.
You can't expect too much and say it's a gritty, realistic film. There's a fucking civil war going on underwater.
Okay, I see your point.
but the okay.
With the explaining things, that it seems like a real problem, but it just seems like nitpicking.
Yes.
Because, but that shouldn't condemn a film.
Well,
it shouldn't condemn a film entirely just because it didn't.
If it was enough,
if there wasn't a few things that you wanted to be explained, but they weren't needed to. Just because some things were explained, it's just who cares?
If it was, the thing is, I'd agree with you, but if it's enough of a problem and I'm left with enough questions to affect my view on the film, then it's a problem. Because if there were just a couple little things, I'd be like, okay, that's weird, but I can move past it because I'm still enjoying this. But there were so many that I just, it threw me off.
I'm just gonna throw in a few nitpicks on top of this, just to add to stoke the flames. One, the narration, so base and so like it lacked character. Like who Aquaman wouldn't narrate, especially the Aquaman they've built up.
Yeah, Jason Momoa is not the narrator.
I don't know.
I love Jason Momoa. He's a great actor, and he was a great Khal Drogo, but
for
he's
that
not a narrator.
season.
He's not a narrator.
Yeah, and also, I forgot what was it? What else?
Mitch is really mad right now. He's peering out the window in fury.
The way. I know he's listening deep inside of there.
We dissed his favorite fish man, and now he's mad.
Okay, another nitpick. The way, yes, I understand. There's a war underwater, but they go about it with like, oh, this is so heavy, instead of like,
That's true.
We're fighting crabs.
Like,
this is funny. Make a joke about STDs, please.
If they had
Jason
done it,
Momoa would.
if they had done it in like Guardians of the Galaxy style, I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah,
just
'cause
like
that's-
fucking goofy.
That's the world he fits in.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking like, fuck you, I don't care.
I'm a fish
What
guy.
do you mean goofy? At the
Oh, no, you don't have to. You don't have to clean.
He didn't have it either, so he talked. He's dead. -5 points.
But he was funny. So, okay. So one other thing: pick your villains, because fucking Manta Ray did not matter.
Did he die? No, he didn't
No,
die.
he's coming back, but he didn't matter, and they just needed him to fill time until
you killed my dad.
until Aquaman fought the Ocean Master. And I hate when movies do that, because they fucked up Spider-Man 3 that way. They fucked up Amazing Spider-Man 2 that way. Well, that series was already kind of fucked up, but. That's how you mess up
sweating right now?
Yes, but except for Into the Spider-Verse, because you have more Spider-Man to fight the villains. Case closed, pick your villains. Here's the clean canteen. Let me drink out of it.
I actually, this is the kind
Be
of
mad at everything that happens like that.
no, I
you can't
disagree.
be mad at one
That
useless
was my
villain.
point. That was my point. It's not Ian's
I
point.
actually
In Black Panther, when Ulysses Claw, if you didn't hate him
never
for the
saw Black
exact
Panther.
same reason, then you're full of shit and you're a hypocrite.
listen.
Ian also didn't see Infinity War.
I'm not done. At the end of Guardians of the
I'm back to
Galaxy,
agree with
the
you.
whole war where you said it was goofy, there were suicide bombing civilians. I don't want to hear nothing about that being goofy.
Are you saying that Guardians of the Galaxy? Gimme.
I'm saying that.
Are you saying
the
that
way
Guardians of the
you said the
Galaxy-
way they approached the things was like.
Guardians of the Galaxy as a whole is
I know,
not
as a
fucking
whole,
goofy
goofy.
ass film.
But you're saying
think
you
he's
said
talking about the war.
You said the war is like they should. If they were gonna do goofy, they should have done it like the entire way through. They should have not have done that.
Yeah, they should have. Comic books are supposed to be stupid. Like that's
You
what
think
makes them
that during
comics.
Guardians of the Galaxy when they were suicide bombing the city?
Well,
that
I
they
don't
should be like,
remember that
Man,
part.
these people should have brought their umbrellas.
when they breaking the wall and suicide bombing the city. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I don't remember
With
that.
John C. Reilly's town, wherever he went. They built a wall out of ships, right?
They built a wall out of ships to prevent Ronan's
Right.
ship from getting to the ground.
Yes.
And then that whole entire wall exploded, and thousands died. But before that, he just sentenced hundreds of his soldiers to just dive bomb on the
I think
city.
I was thinking more Guardians of the Galaxy 2
No.
because it took itself a lot less seriously than the
It's
first one did.
why it was not as good.
And Aquaman is
It was really
goofy,
good. Are you
It
kidding?
was good, but it was not as good as the first one.
but it's still better than Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think you guys went
Because
into
it has-
Aquaman expecting too much, and you should have just
Okay,
no, I
okay,
went
so
to
wait.
Aquaman.
So the point you're making right now is that we should have lowered our expectations going into the movie,
Sure, I went into Aquaman expecting
so we could
heart.
have enjoyed it.
I want to say something so mean, but I'm not
Say it,
going.
say it.
No, I gave up the water bottle. I can't say anymore.
Okay. Shit. Oh God, my knee.
I'm so sorry.
Jesus.
I am so sorry.
Do it for the podcast.
I'm so sorry. It's okay. I don't care.
Tying it back. Okay. I forgot my point. You said something. Oh yeah, the pick your villains thing. For the most part, I agree with you. But story arcs are important because I get it when a villain feels like it's just filler and it's just there. But at the same time, you know, a fight against the same villain the whole time can get really repetitive and it can get really tiring. And I think if you can really showcase a character's abilities and a character's growth through hitting them with different threats. The problem with Manta Ray, whatever, it was Black Manta?
I think it was Black Manta.
Yeah, Black Manta. The problem with him was that he wasn't a different villain. They literally gave him, well...
Spoiler alert.
They gave him.
You don't need to see the movie. It's okay.
Yeah. No, you should see it. You should see
We're
it.
ganging up on Mitch. I'm sorry.
Develop your own opinions.
If you aren't negative pieces of garbage, you should see it.
I don't have anything to say.
He's got a good point there.
Okay, so yes, Black Manta used technology that had been used against. That had been used the entire movie.
That's false.
I mean, he altered it, but
It was the most powerful they've
fundamentally the
created so far.
same. Oh.
So that immediately disagrees with what you just said.
No, it's still.
You said it's what they've been using the entire
I'm saying
time.
fundamentally it is the same technology. It's just more of the same threat. Just more, it's like, okay, so yeah, you're right. It's the most powerful technology, so it's the same thing, but stronger.
Sure.
And with a different motivation. You killed my dad. You killed my father.
Spoiler alert! It's already too late. I'm pretty sure I said that earlier, actually, and it's
Yeah.
it's already spoiled.
Spoiler alert for The Princess Bride. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Okay, Mitch, you have something to say here.
I was going to say something.
Go ahead.
Okay, case in point where this works, The Dark Knight. You have Heath Ledger's Joker. You have I forget the actor's name, but he's Two-Face. He's Harvey Dent, and you have two villains you're throwing two threats at Batman, and
they interact.
And he's got an internal threat going on at the same time. But I don't know. It's different because I don't know.
You don't know how it's different?
Black Manta was, I don't know. They're
Black
not
Manta-
shoehorning these characters in at the last minute to make this.
Also, Aquaman wasn't 3 hours.
Yeah, but the Dark Knight's good.
They didn't have time to develop Black Manta like they did
got a
with
good
Harvey
point.
Dent.
Then they could have.
They
could've
could
done
have
it.
just cut him out.
But the way you guys are complaining, you wouldn't have sat through a 3-hour Aquaman movie.
If it was
I
good,
would've.
I would have.
Yeah,
But
if
you
it was-
wouldn't have liked it any other way.
Well, if
No, if it were
Go-
3
you mean
hours.
other
then
than-
Still would have nitpicked
do you
about
mean
some
other
shit.
than good?
Are you?
Oh my god, it's like talking to Kelsey where you just assume shit I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'm not gonna cut this out
personal
because
stuff.
I don't care. If she
I
ends
don't-
up listening to
I don't
this,
fucking care. She can suck a fat dick. I'm tired of it.
Bleep this out. Bleep this out.
I will try, but I will most
You
likely
can
just
bleep
post
that
it
if you want,
without
But I'm
care.
tired of motherfuckers just.
Oh, you mean this? No! If I would have wanted to say that, I would say it.
The bottle.
Fuck your water bottle.
The bottle is yours.
Listen. If it had been 3 hours, they might have had time to improve upon things.
Yes.
Therefore, I probably would have enjoyed it more. And art, listen. I go into movies with a critical eye. Do you not do that?
No,
Why?
because I pay money for it and I plan to enjoy it.
So you just like turn a blind eye to the flaws. I still enjoy movies that I see flaws in.
Okay, name one movie that you have that is extremely flawed that you like.
Kingsman.
The Secret Service or the Golden Circle. Which one?
Bofa.
What are your flaws with Kingsman?
Kingsman, it tries too hard. For one thing, the entire movie, I was like, this is wow. Yeah, they're just like this. It felt like a Bond clone at times, and I get that could have been the point.
How are you not supposed to feel like a Bond clone when it's about spies?
Come up with original ideas.
It can't be an original idea. They're both fucking spies.
I mean, that's
Disagree. There's hundreds of
Yeah.
superheroes.
what's that?
But that's why they all have different powers.
Yeah, and they can have different abilities and stuff as spies.
How are you? You're all fucking human beings. It's
Austin
like it
Powers.
comes to a point where you're just like, oh, you have different cool stuff. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
They did have different cool stuff.
yeah.
So it's like what?
It still felt like a Bond clone.
That's
though.
because it has nowhere else to go.
Are you saying Bond like did it all?
Yes. It's
think-
hard to do it better than the thing that did it best.
It's definitely more fun than a lot of some Bond movies are
It
just
didn't
like
take itself as seriously. That's for damn.
yeah, that's
And listen,
Bond takes
Kingsman is
itself-
one of my favorite films of all time.
same here. But it's flawed.
I think you guys just went way too critical on Aquaman instead of watching it first just to enjoy it as a superhero movie.
We've talked about this before. We said we were going to talk about this before. I don't enjoy superhero movies in general.
I know you don't, but for you enjoy most movies, and I don't understand why you're so critical of Aquaman.
Aquaman just wasn't good. It was so...
Name one thing besides the little nitpicks about not explaining things that you did not like.
It was absolutely... The Aquaman as a character held nothing for... I did not care if he lived or died. If he had died, I would have been like, okay, who are we moving on to next? Who are we watching?
He's a cyborg? Nice. Okay.
He's like, all
Listen,
right.
I also didn't, like, as a whole, I didn't dislike Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it.
It's great as like a Nathan Drake kind of film, kind of. Not entirely. Do you get what I say when I mean Nathan Drake? Like
Yes.
Uncharted, Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff. That you're right about that. That
went to the
adventure film,
fucking
National
desert.
Treasure. I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. I want to see the mystery. Oh, they figured it out. Okay. And it lasted for like 20 minutes. But it's like, if that had been the whole film, I
They
would
were
have
just
been...
looking for that.
That
I
would
would've
have
been-
not been Aquaman. That would have been a fucking mystery movie.
No, if it was Aquaman and he was like, okay, we gotta like bring this, find the trident, find the MacGuffin, that would have been interesting. Cause not a lot of superhero movies do that. None that I like can think of are
It's
like.
something like
let's-
75% of
find
the
the
movie to
MacGuffin.
do that.
Well, it wasn't their objective for 75% of the movie.
It's not like like the Indiana
It
Jones.
was all steps to it.
Yeah. Well,
Name. Okay, you have the Tesseract. You have the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones like that. But that's more of like, I don't know. It's different. The Infinity War movie. Well, you haven't seen
Okay,
it.
let me compare the two. You says like, oh, then you solved the mystery. Oh, they solved it. That means like while you were watching Infinity War, every single stone they got. Oh, he's got to find the Soul Stone. Oh, he got it.
It's also 8 years of build-up. 8, 9, 10 years of build-up.
Yeah, because
That's
they
like-
actually did it right. Aquaman was playing against like 4 years of horrible films.
Yeah, they were doing it in reverse. But also there was no
wait,
hype
Mitch,
for
Mitch,
Aquaman.
Mitch, are you saying you didn't enjoy those films?
I just said they were horrible.
But did you enjoy them?
No,
Well,
I did not enjoy Batman v Superman.
So-
or I did not enjoy
There was like
Justice
20
League.
minutes of that movie that was
why'd
was
you
like,
say that name?
and
That-
then
I-
that happened.
I have
was
an
like,
explanation to
I'm
why
definitely
I
done.
don't care about that moment anymore, but it's not my original idea. It's from an episode of Cinema Wins, and it explains why everyone shitting on it is ridiculous.
I just... That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah,
It just came out of nowhere. Like,
it's a
our moms have the same names. We're cool now all of a sudden.
Aquaman. Here's the thing: the Shazam hype. I'm so excited
I
for
am
that film,
afraid.
and I'm like shitting myself because I hope it's good. Like it'll be the breakthrough DC film, like in this saga of shit that they're making, and it'll hopefully, I don't know, something will hopefully happen with Shazam. But I didn't feel the same hype for Aquaman. Should I have? Because it's in the same, like Shazam's gonna be in the Justice League.
That's just because of personal preference. Everyone knows, like, oh,
The
Aquaman's a
Aquaman-
weak ass piece of shit. But no, you just gotta go into it as like, oh, I'm expecting. I just hope I'm pleasantly surprised, not just going in there like, oh, this is probably gonna be shit because it's Aquaman.
I didn't go into it like
no,
that.
yeah,
That's what
I
it
actually,
sounds like
I
you guys
really
are
like
saying.
That's how I
Aquaman.
came out.
Oh fucking Jesus
I really,
Christ.
I went into it with quite high hopes. Actually, I
That's-
thought it was gonna be good.
But say your last thing, and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
Not ask you a fucking question.
Okay. How was your New Year's?
Fuck
Oh yeah,
off.
we were talking about that before.
No, I'm not trying to be a dick.
That
I'm
was
just
just- that
I'm
was
just asking
genuinely
if
a
you had any
discussion.
good New Year's, like
No, I did not.
you not a single moment was good.
What about when really, really drunk Ian got you to dance?
That was January 1st.
That was still the New Year's.
January
New Year's
1st
Day.
is in the new year.
It's New Year's Day. Counts?
And didn't we go hot tubbing after that?
We did.
I got
God,
super
that was-
drunk, and that was the only reason I had fun.
You didn't have fun when you were absolutely sober at Harrison's house, and
No.
we really
No, I did not have fun.
when you were dancing.
Why do you think I
with
didn't
me.
have fun, Ian?
Yeah.
Here's the tea.
Okay, for the next 5 minutes, our friend Mitch is going to talk about the Cowboys game
We just
last
had
night.
technical difficulties.
I don't need 5 minutes. Mute, I didn't. I hit the mute button. Okay, for the people who don't watch football, I'll try to simplify. I'm just gonna simplify this for you. The Dallas Cowboys are a overhyped team, but they still are good in a miraculous fashion. They just pounded on a rebuilding Seahawks team that's sort of overrated. They have young players who don't know how to play their positions quite well at this point. They have potential, but they're not there quite yet. So Russell Wilson doesn't really have any weapons to work with besides Doug Baldwin, who's about 31 years old and can only make about... Hey, did you watch the game?
He's making a joke.
I'm sorry, I thought the bit was Mitch was going to talk about the Cowboys game for 5 minutes.
Flow.
I'm sorry.
Bitch.
Continue, please.
Fine. So Russell Wilson has no weapons to work besides a 31-year-old Doug Baldwin who only makes about 2 catches a game and a stalling run game that is hit or miss every single week. And Dak, bless his heart, trying his best to be a franchise quarterback, but still just can't seem to grasp at it. He's putting his life and legs on the line. He's taking hits to the head every single play. Rushing for almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Zeke runs for 160 yards and a touchdown. Completely dominated the game, but damn, they tried their best to choke that away late in the game. If Sebastian Janikowski didn't get hurt, I probably think the Seahawks would have won. But Cowboys somehow managed to keep their lead for long enough to eke out their first playoff win in 20 years. But Blake Bortles still has a better record. Cowboys 24, Seahawks 22.
That was sports with Mitch.
That was our sports segment.
We're moving over to the weather now. It is freaking hot in here.
It's also super
I'm gonna
foggy.
open the door. My windows. We're recording in my car.
We
My
are
windows.
still recording in his car.
My windows have fogged up because of how much heat is expelling from our hot.
Just our
air.
pure movie debate rage.
Oh, none of the thing about the girl stuff was recorded.
I know.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, I
No,
stopped at the
don't
right
do
time.
it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do what?
For the next section, we're gonna only whisper.
That's Mitch's foot.
I'm gonna talk about my New Year's experience. All right, so it was a.
You didn't.
You didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, we looked back at Mitch.
Whipped cream, son.
I looked back at Mitch, and he had this innocent, like a dog just shat in the couch eyes.
He shat in the couch.
like a dog was like, I know you know I did it, and he's so sad because his owner knows. We thought he farted in my car.
Wait, you just said like a dog shat in the couch.
It happens, folks. It happens. We don't pick the ballroom, we just dance. I'm gonna close the door and it's gonna get a lot hotter in here.
You're a real biscuit boxer.
Have we talked about how much we love Nicolas Cage
Yes, we
in
have.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
We can talk more about it.
Oh God, he's just so good. He was the perfect. I can't think of anybody else that would have been a better cast for that
Yo, I'm
film.
gonna make a hot ass take.
Yeah.
The more I watch Avengers: Infinity War, the more I start to not like it.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah. First time seeing it.
But you know what happens.
I absolutely know what happens.
The more I watch it, like the stuff that there's a difference between like something not happening even though it should, and some stuff when it's just not explained. That's like doesn't make sense. That's what kind of fucks with me because in the very beginning.
Where the fuck was Hulk? Why is he not fighting when the ship's getting invaded and there's families on it? Just for the setup? Is he just doing it for the lulz?
Hulk was also
Hulk's existence is just for the lols.
He was the Hulk.
he got rid of Ed Norton and was like, Mark Ruffalo, you do it.
Okay, Mark Ruffalo.
I'll play the Hulk.
Most of the things I have wrong with Infinity War stem from Mark Ruffalo.
He is a when Ragnarok became a comedy and the rest of the world became like the Guardians of the Galaxy universe and they tried to mix it with
It worked with Thor. It didn't work with Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo is just a fantastic human.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at him.
It didn't work with Bruce Banner. Mark Ruffalo, I bet he's a swell guy. I bet he feeds puppies. But
I hope.
Bruce Banner is
Such a low
possibly
a lot of people feed their puppies.
Bruce Banner is the most cringeworthy and annoying character to watch in a Marvel film.
I'll give it to you.
You're not wrong.
Because at the first part when he's so you're telling me Thor or Loki convinced Hulk, hey, listen, we're about to get invaded by Thanos or whoever just has this big ass ship in front of us. Why don't you just take a seat for a minute and let like half of our population die?
I will
and
say-
then wait for it. You'll know when I say the line, then attack and get your ass kicked.
The thing that bothers me about the new Hulk, and I haven't even like, it's been a while since I've seen one of these movies, and I still remember this, is that Bruce is pretty much still in control. Like, he gets mad. I'm always mad. But then it's still Bruce Banner just in a big body. The whole point of Hulk is that he's supposed to have, like, uncontrollable rage.
Did you see Thor Ragnarok though?
Did you?
They make it like
Thor
Hulk-
Ragnarok.
I was talking, you dumb bitch.
You didn't have the water bottle. You're not holding on to
It's
it.
in my hand.
It is now.
You literally said a minute ago that you didn't want the water bottle thing anymore.
It's not, but I just need it for the lull.
Basically, in Thor Ragnarok, they make Hulk and Bruce Banner two different entities. Bruce Banner forgets who he is when he is the Hulk, and he wakes up on this other planet as Bruce Banner when the Hulk transforms back into Bruce Banner.
Stupid
And they're
decision.
two different personalities
That's
now.
still not
It's a
as
Now
stupid
he just
decision.
has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a thing where like, here, take over. I'm drunk. I need you to drive.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be like that. It should just be like, all right, I
Drive the Hulk for me, dude. Get us home.
It's just like Hulk's like, okay, douchebag, give me the keys. And like Thor Ragnarok, it's like, okay, he's taking control, and like, oh, it was cool, but he's still in control because he's not going to come back out, and Bruce can't do anything about it, which is a stupid thing to have, and it's shitty because in the trailers they showed it was Hulk. Which is,
Well, I think it's believable because Hulk has never gotten his ass kicked, and
That
he
is-
totally did by Thanos.
that is not true.
He nearly broke Hulk's.
He got his
asshole.
ass kicked by Thor, but he's such an egotistic.
Thanos kicked his
Thanos
ass.
kicked his ass, but Thor like almost murdered him in that arena. But
Also true.
because Hulk is such a big dumb idiot guy, he's just like, oh, I have the ego, I definitely won. It's like there needs to be like a consistency just with certain characters. And okay, the first thing, Hulk is just like he gets his ass kicked. Then it's like, why were you hiding the entire time? You could have helped. It's like, all right, okay, cool.
Can I make a reference real quick? I don't know if either of you guys will understand it, but hopefully have you guys played Fallout New Vegas?
No.
No? A little so-so? He turned just for the nobody that's listening out there, what essentially happened with Hulk.
I'm talking to you, nobody.
Yeah. You there in the back.
In the not back because there's not a back.
I see you.
Let go.
Stop. I see you eating your popcorn.
Stop this.
You need a refill.
On your drive back home from college.
I'll get you some napkins.
Now that horror is over.
God, I wonder what that was.
There's a character in Fallout New Vegas called Dog. And he is a super mutant.
I do remember Dog. I watched the video about Dog.
Yeah. So basically what it is that when Dog hears his other personality, God's voice, God comes out. It's not like God, literally God. It's just because Dog becomes hyper intelligent and gains this entirely other personality. It's literally, that's what Hulk is. It's just, it's like, it's a different personality, and Dog is good for one thing, and they're literally the same character. I just realized that. Hulk is Dog. Because Dog is big dumb idiot who smash and eat bodies. I mean, the whole eating thing isn't quite consistent. But then God comes out and he's good at smart stuff because he's a smart guy. And Bruce Banner is a smart guy. Sort of. Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner isn't really, though, from what I can tell. But yeah, that's probably a reference that'll go over most people's heads.
Also, the thing with the Hulk is just they created two separate entities, but it just fucks a whole bunch of like his motivations for doing anything. Because like, yeah, Bruce Banner is smart and he knows how to operate sort of like Tony Stark, but he doesn't have like the will to do what's necessary until like a gimme moment at the very end. But it's just like Hulk is always in control and Bruce just temporarily is just, hey, I'm here, I should do this, because during the whole time Hulk just doesn't want to come out, which still it's like a first time driver is just like, but it's not the first time driver where they stop at everything. They just want to keep their foot on the gas the entire time. And it's like, okay, all right, the stop sign. Oh, that was a child. Okay. So, and one of the worst things, I almost stopped watching it after it came on Netflix. I almost turned it off. The first time that Thanos like arrives in Wakanda, and like there's a big dramatic moment, and he fucking shows up through a portal out of nothingness, and Captain America and like 17 other Avengers are looking at him, and there's just like this cool moment. It's just ruined by Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster suit going, Cap, that's him. It's like,
No shit, it's him.
like, no, fuck, asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, go sit down. It's like, you know anyone else in the universe that can do that? Who's holding Infinity Stones? You know anyone else we know that does that? Sit down, you fucking stupid.
You know what's really funny about that too? Thank you. I know exactly what scene you're talking about, not because I've seen the movie, but because it was a meme for a while. Thanos is a massive meme, and I'm a meme guy.
Some of they did too much humor in Infinity War.
Next time, aim for the head.
That wasn't humor to me.
No,
Most
That
of the
wasn't
things
humor. That's a moment for all the audience to go, oh shit.
I
For
thought
me,
it was funny.
most of
I
it-
haven't seen it in that context.
Most of it came from like the Guardians. It's like the Guardians are supposed to be goofy, but tone it down a little there.
No.
And
They
like,
were, I don't know. Peter Quill had some pretty heavy.
no, I'm talking mostly about Drax.
Yeah, that was.
Drax needs to be limited.
All I can think of is it's not even a video. There's a screenshot with Drax laughing, Drax and Mantis laughing. Yeah, and it
sent
says
this to us.
It says liberal. And it has Come and Get Your Love by Redbone playing under it. And that's not funny, right? But like all I can think of is him saying it in his voice like liberal, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm
Just-
super politically neutral, but it just makes me laugh every time.
Just to be clear, this is not a political podcast.
No, it's not.
But it can, because I don't know. We don't care what it turns into.
Except
also-
about politics, we really don't. I don't like politics, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
I don't care. I don't care much about time limits, I'm gonna say, but I have to go home pretty soon. We're getting pretty close to an hour. I don't know who would listen to this for an hour. Probably nobody at all. But I'm gonna say a thing. The thing that got me the first time I watched Infinity War, and Doctor Strange, knowing that he had an Infinity Stone, watching that movie, I was like, okay, you introduce a time traveling device, and you don't use it for the entirety of the movie at all. And Doctor Strange looks into the future and he says there's only one way this can happen, when you have a time stone where you can turn everything back in time and you don't use it. You have infinite tries with a time stone, not just one try.
But
So
that,
go back and do it over again.
yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Do it
Well,
better.
which I think
Groundhog Day.
I think they're gonna do that in the sequel. They're gonna go back and do it over again.
In game.
Avengers Endgame. The trailer looks amazing. Okay, Captain Marvel. What are your thoughts?
I literally have only seen the posters.
I'm excited, but I'm
Cautious.
cautious because this is like Marvel's first swing at like a solo female film, and like this, there's like their solo films have not always been the best.
Iron Man was great.
Iron Man was great. Iron Man 2 was about so-so. Iron Man 3 is like kind of a cult classic where it's just like some people hate it and some people love it.
Yeah.
Thor, the original, was so-so. Thor 2 was a piece of shit. Thor Ragnarok
Great.
can be taxing, but it was good. It was really good upon the first couple of viewings. I have not seen the first two Captain Americas.
The second one's pretty good. The first one is like,
It's world building.
yeah, it's world building, and it's not bad. It's just not better than Iron Man.
That's what I think that's one thing I don't like about superhero movies is that every film feels like world building.
Yeah, especially in the
I mean, do you
especially now.
Okay,
Batman?
let's. I got a new bit. Ian, describe us your perfect superhero movie.
I need more time to think about this. You're putting
Too bad. It's the I Don't Care podcast. I don't care that you need more time.
Okay.
More time. We're like, shut up.
So I want superhero movies to be like the comics.
Where they
I-
already have power.
Hey, let the man talk.
Well, yes. Yeah. Well, God, that's part of it. Yes, so there are certain superheroes where their backstories don't need explaining. You know, everybody knows. I think Superman is one of those movies. Or one of those characters in general. So I think if you have a well-known superhero like that, you don't need to waste time on their backstory because everybody knows it. You can have allusions to it because that's just good storytelling because they don't just start existing at the start of the movie. But we don't need to see it on screen. You world build through the plot. You don't world build and then introduce the plot. That is a common theme I see a lot. It's like, here is the world, now things happen. I want things to be happening, and you see what's going on, and you see the world at the same time. Does that make sense?
The world is inferred from the plot.
Yes. And the plot can affect the world, and we see that throughout, and we see things gradually change. Honestly, character development, not that big of a deal. Don't.
No, I was smiling for a different movie.
Okay, character building, not that big of a deal. Because, again, it's superheroes, comics. I haven't read a lot of comics. But I understand that, for the most part, they're the same.
Starts the argument
Each
with,
time.
I want superhero movies to be like the comic books. Ends with, I haven't read the comic books.
No, I have read comic books. I just haven't read many.
I just haven't read any
So,
at all.
Ever. Go ahead.
So you're saying you want the world building and the plot to just intertwine?
Yeah.
Do you mean like an Aquaman?
No. Because
How did Aquaman do it?
Aquaman spent about 20 minutes building the world and giving backstory to Aquaman. In fact, almost all of the movie was background for Aquaman.
They explained some things too at length that you didn't need to know.
Like that whole sequence in the beginning with the dad and the mom, that's world building.
Didn't matter. It came full circle at the end, but also didn't matter. Didn't care about him.
That was important to the plot.
How?
It explained why they've banished his mother. It explained why they won't let him in, and it explained the relationship between the humans and the Atlanteans.
You could allude to the
You
fact
could
that
allude to all of
you
that?
could start with him and his dad. He is a young kid. Why did mom run away? And then you find out, oh shit, she's the queen.
How would you infer that if she's in the middle of the fucking world?
No, you find out.
You find
Like
out
a
later.
better way to do that would be wrap it in mystery. Say, mom like went away. My mom left me. Your mom was more than you thought, kid. And then like later
But
you find, God, my mom's the queen. And then he finds out he's royalty. That would be such a better way.
He wasn't
other than
angry at his mom for leaving.
No, that's the problem. That's
You
part of the
can't do-
problem with the movie. He was like, "Oh, it's my fault." No, that's oh my god. Why would he not care so much if he thought so much was his fault? He would be the most careful person in the world.
Because they killed his fucking mom.
He did. He knew that. Yes, but he thought it was because of him, and now he's got this attitude of like, "Oh, I don't fucking care."
It's all my fault. Bleh.
Yeah, but he should care so much because at the end of the day, if he thinks it's his fault, would he not go about making sure that other people don't get hurt in such a careful way other than throwing shit around?
That
Being
seems like the right
permission
thing
to
to
come
do.
aboard. Fuck you, surfer dude. I mean, I love the actor, but like the character they built was not in line with his backstory.
There's so many intersecting arguments here.
You're mad at the one-liners, but literally like
I thought that was funny. Permission to come aboard was funny, but it didn't have any like.
it's like it's the moral thing to do if an entire population agrees to kill your mother. Oh, I should try to lead these people in a smarter direction, but that's not going to happen all the time. When someone kills your mom, you're not just going to be like, oh, I'm going to go change the crime rate in my city because they killed my mom. I'm going to go out in there and like take all their guns and replace them with daisies.
Good point. But also, he just let this guy's dad die. He let him watch his dad die. Powerless to save him. And that's...
Yeah, you're pirates.
Yo, fuck you. Like, Aquaman wasn't... His mom wasn't a good person and he knew that.
They were killing civilians.
Wait, who? Do you mean the pirates or...
The pirates were killing civilian Marines.
And he knew... We're going too deep into this lore that is...
Yeah, because you guys didn't want to pay attention.
We're going way over time. I paid so much attention. I didn't fall asleep, though, like my father did.
You guys are choosing not to pay attention to the small things that
All the
build things to
small
be characters.
You're right. Aquaman was a good movie. And...
Fuck you.
It had no
Pigs can fly. And...
Podcast sucks.
Hey,
our podcast.
it's our podcast.
It's not our podcast, but it's just two dipshits agreeing on nothingness.
And I don't care.
Wow,
I don't care about your opinion.
It's gone full circle, ladies and gentlemen. Let's think. Here's the outro for the podcast.